So the agenda is like we'll start with test planning, test preparation, test execution, and then defect management. Okay. So test management. So you might have seen these four tiles, during our till now during our demo. So these four tiles: test preparation, test plans, test execution, and defects, is what combinedly give you the test management capability, right? To run your manual test and automated testing, right? Obviously, we'll go in depth into each of these styles, but to give you an overview, so manual test, it supports like out of the box, so there you don't have to do anything. But for automated testing, it has to be integrated with any third party integrator. So right now it is Tricentis only, which is certified on, which SAP provides. And Tricentis comes as part of the cloud ALM, like you have a separate tile or a catalog there itself at Tricentis. So once you have procured the license, for some it again depends on your contract. Probably in some cases your Tricentis license would be part of your enterprise contract that's with arise with SAP or whatever. And in some cases you probably have to procure it separately, but it is fully integrated. It's just you could understand that since it is part of the cloud ALM homepage landing page, so it is the integrated integration is inbuilt. So yeah, for automation testing we rely on Tricentis. Also SAP relies on Tricentis, and for manual, Cloud ALM itself is sufficient for the for the manual testing. So there are also some scenarios where you can import the standard test cases which SAP provides for S4 HANA best practice, where these standard test cases which SAP has, those you can import in Cloud LM, and you can work on them only. You don't have to create, if you want, you don't have to create your own test cases. You can use those test cases which come as part of the SAP best practice, and you can use them. Okay.
This is PDF, is that?
This is a PDBA.
Okay.
So but with obviously you would have used other test management tools as well, right? So what comes with Cloud ALM, your test management. So what they have SAP has done is they have tried to keep it as simple and as straightforward, like the concept of lean, right? The simple concept, there won't be a overhead. So like you have your test case, you can make it part of your test plan, you execute. That's as simple as that. And also you can have your test cases. You can it could be you have a test case which you wouldn't want to run as part of multiple iterations of your different test cycles or part of different test plans, right? So that also you can run as is, like you don't have to, like, whenever you want and however many times you want, you can run your test cases, right? You just have to change the status and then you can again run your tests. Okay. Also, as I had mentioned earlier, like it gives you the flexibility, or not flexible, but the option to relate your test cases, test plans to, could be a requirement or a user story, to achieve traceability, right? In the sense that you want to see, okay, for this requirement, what is the status of the test case, or for that matter, the test plan, right? You could create a test plan for a complete business process, which includes multiple test cases, right? So that you can do through the test management capability in Cloud ALM, right? So it gives you that with process, requirement, user story, which we had seen, right? So if for a process also, because from a process you will have requirement, user story, so you can relate, or you can have a relation for your test case to these entities also, right? So once that is done, you can have, it's just for better traceability. You will, like, if you are in testing phase, you will be able to find, okay, for which requirement, or what is the status of the testing for my requirement or my user story, right? In that way it helps, right? So as I was saying, you can manage both manual and automated test cases. You can create your manual test cases, prepare their structure, content by defining activities. So it's very simple. We'll go through the demo, then it'll become more clear. But it's very simple UI. You can create it, there itself, like the simple steps. You can have step 1, 2, 3, whatever you like, right? You can upload the screenshots, right? Or as part of the successful testing, or testing, what you call, artifacts, right? So that also, as I was saying, you can integrate for automated testing. You have to integrate with one of the tools, right? Because right now Cloud LM itself doesn't support automated testing, and it is not planned. Like they have decided that for automation testing they will rely on third party providers, right, like a Tricentis, okay, which is fully integrated with SAP. You don't have to like integrate it. There is no effort in the integration part. Yeah, you probably would have to know a bit of Tricentis, but yeah, it isn't fully integrated. You don't have to do any effort on the integration part, and it's very smooth integration, right? Once for the automation, obviously the automated test cases would come directly. You cannot directly assign it in Cloud ALM and run through it. The testing you can run through Cloud ALM. The logs and everything is at the details are at the provider, the third party provider end, right? So as I was mentioning, you can assign requirement user stories to your test cases to achieve full traceability from the creation through testing to deployment, right? So this is there. Okay. So this is just telling that in case you have any issues, test preparation, or you're facing issues, so there's an inbuilt functionality within the Cloud LM from where you can create a case to SAP to look into the issue, right? There could be some issues where you're not able to, or you're not able to or achieve what you want to achieve through the test case, or you're facing issues. So you can have, there's an inbuilt support which SAP provides that you can do, right? And this is that. Okay, so this is the different features and functionality which the test preparation app gives you, right? So you can create manual test case, you can create automated test case, you can import the test cases. For import, you have to have the third party that automate testing tool integrated. After that, you can import the automated test cases into Cloud LM. Then you can based on the test cases, you can plan your test plan and different stuff, right? Navigate to automated test cases. So this is fine. Okay. So test case editor is nothing but you can edit a manual like you create a manual, you can create a manual test case, you can download it, right? You can download it in Excel. You have created a test case, now you want to do something for documentation purpose, the different tests for a particular plan, or for a particular business. So there would be 10, 11, 20 test cases which you want to download and maybe store it somewhere, or maybe for analytics or to review it offline, you want to see it, so that you can do. You can also for other, we have like you can also upload, you can use the template, create your test case in Excel, and you can upload it to create your test cases, not manually but through a Excel through upload. It's similar to how you have in, if some of you have worked in SAP Solution Manager Test Suite Management, there also you have that you have to follow the format and the naming convention and the template which SAP provides. If you follow that and you fill up your details, then you can, once you upload it, you will be able to create your test cases from an Excel, like through the upload functionality. So that option is also there. Again, as I was saying, you can assign test cases to requirements, user stories for traceability. You have you want to have full traceability. Okay, for my requirement, or for any requirement you want, okay, which user story, which test plan, where it is, right? So that you can see, that you can do only if you tag it. Obviously it has to be manually. Once you are creating a test case or the test plan, you have to create that relation. It would not come automatically. So if you want that thing, and it is good to have, it is a good process to follow, because it will help you, right? Eventually testing is very important in the complete life cycle of the project, right? So if you have a traceability, so you will always and be rest assured, you will always be in good place compared to if you don't have that traceability with respect to, or with relation to your test plan or test cases, right? Tags, again, you can assign tags. Tags are universal across applications. You have tags everywhere. So for testing also you can use tags, right? Like manual test, or maybe you want these, you have created 10 test cases for a particular business process, and probably that some of these are not going to, not all of them, maybe some for UAT, some for SIT, some for integration testing. Or when you're creating a test plan, there you can use test case, that you have one test plan for your UAT, one test plan for your, which will, again, the test cases will be shared across. That is there, you don't have to create separate test cases for test time. The same test case could be part of different test plans, right? It could be, right, in your side, when you're doing a regression testing, you might not need all the test cases which were there in UAT, right? You are going to do if you're doing a performance testing, right? So but you can leverage the same. It's not, you don't have to create again a separate test case and then make it part of a plan which will be used for your regression testing or for any matter, right? So you can create a list of test cases, and from there, depending on your requirement, you can make them part of your test plan. And it's more of like, you can reusable, right? You don't have to create every, like the same test case multiple times, because you can use one test case which fulfills your purpose. You can have that in as part of multiple test plans. Or also, like, you can have iterations, like you can have SAT 1 2 3, right? So you can just for the just for the the reporting purpose, or for you can have different test plans, same test cases, but different test plans for test plan 1 for SAT 1, test plan 2 for SAT 2. So like that, so that that, okay, where are we with the overall status of the testing, right? So in that way it helps, right? Obviously, test plans are not compulsory. You can you can have your testing without test plans also, right? But test plans, it just gives you a more better control and visibility over how the testing is going on. Otherwise, you would have to track each of your case testing through each of those test cases, right? So it would probably become a bit more overhead, probably, right? And if you have test plans, that's better, right? Okay, we'll go through everything in the demo. So let's see. So test plans, what it is. So test plans are nothing but a set of test cases that are executed in a specific test cycle. So if you have, for a particular business process, you have like 10 test cases, right? And you want like of some set of those test cases have to be run in at some particular order, or it's not all. So then you can create a test plan. So test plan just gives you a logical container, a logical grouping for those test cases which you can use, right? Okay, rather than telling you execute test case 3 4 7 8, you can you can make these 3 4 7 8 test cases as part of a test plan 1, and then you can ask your tester, okay, we have to execute the test plan 1 for this particular scenario, right? Or for a defect, right? Defect has come, and then you have to retest, but probably you don't need to retest again the complete all the tests. So maybe you can create a test plan that, okay, only these two tests we have to do for the retesting, right? Because probably it failed probably at the log off time, right? When we were logging off I'm just giving you example, when we are logging off, it was not logging off properly, right? So you don't have to completely again test the whole cycle. You could just test the last few steps, and what is the expected outcome for a log off. Would there be a message, or the window will close, or something, right? So that depends. So that for that you can create a test plan, right? This is a simple example. So as I was saying, so you can create your testing without test plans also, right? But it just gives you more visibility and control, right? To probably when you are you probably when like you will probably work whichever project would be a larger transformation project, or there will be many people involved. So in a big project, and with big large number of teams and people, with too many collaboration going in and out, like during testing, defects are getting created, and it goes back to the development in the functional team, and functional team give their input, the development do their work, then again it comes into testing again, right? So this complete cycle would be going on a lot now, for back and forth, right? And you will have a lot many processes, a lot many test cases to deal with, right? So it's better, not necessarily you have to use it, but if you have test plans in picture, then it becomes a bit easier to manage. Okay, fine. Okay, test plan. So you can create new test plan, assign test cases to the test plans, release all prepared that are assigned. So you have to, like, once it's like the status are in preparation when you're creating the test cases. Then once you create the test plan, then it is assigned and the status is prepared. So for execution, you have to again like release like the now the test case or the test plan is released for execution, right? So then only the text execution will in text execution you will be able to see those test cases, right? So the status is like in preparation when you are creating your test cases, right? You are creating, then it's prepared, right? Once it is prepared, so it is ready. This still it is not, you have to release it so that it is available for test execution, right? So this is very important, the status, because if you don't release them, the test cases, test plans, they will not show up in the text execution app. for you to start the execution or record your test results, right? So it's a small step, but it's important that you have all the test cases, test plans have to be released. They have to be released, only then it will show up in the test execution tile. Okay. Again, it has built-in supports. That is fine. Again, this is for test plans. Okay, you create a test plan, you can status tracking, right? You can delete a test plan, assign test cases. Obviously, when you create a test plan, the test plan will have some test cases assigned to it. Otherwise, there's no point of having a test plan, right? You can assign tester right to a test plan or test case, right? So once you have changed the release and you are in testing, then that the test plan in testing, then you have that content that okay, it will be it will show up in the test execution. You can start your with your testing, right? Okay, this is fine. Test plan to finish. Once obviously the cycle is finished, so you can finish your test, because you have to complete it also, right? It is in testing, but once it finishes everything, so for the status you have to make it finished. So again, this is all manual. You have to do it manually. All these status, nothing will work automatically. It's not like if all the test cases within a test plan have been completed, so it will automatically change. You have to go and do it manually, change this. So then only it will show up in the overview. Okay, so there were 10 test plans, 9 are completed, one is in testing, right? In that way, right? Okay. So again, during test execution as a tester, you can execute manual and automated testing both, assigning status, entering comments for individual test cases. Because obviously you'll see when we go through demo, it's very simple. It again depends on how you want to capture or do the testing. So like the testing steps, it depends on how you have defined your test case, right? Depending on test case, what is the expected results, and it's just a simple pass test fail, right? So that is there. So for automation testing, the execution, because as I said, Cloud LM doesn't have the capability, so the execution is done like through the third party provider only, right? But yeah, the results or all the details, like you can see Cloud ALM would have the you can see the the output or the dashboard, or the similar how you can see for manual testing, you can see same for automating testing within Cloud ALM also. The all the results from for automating testing, all the results from the third party provider comes into Cloud ALM. There only you can see the testing results, right? You don't have to go to the third party provider to see the testing results. Yeah, for logs and anything, then you have to go, but for an overview of the status, you can be in Cloud LM only, and it will show you the status or whatever is the status of your test cases, the automated test cases in the Cloud LM dashboard itself, in the Cloud page itself, right? Again, you can, if you have
So, question like as just you said, like does Cloud LM has the capability to import the results from the Tricentis?
yeah, it will import.
So it is not manual process, but like we have like how it is happen. Like when do we have to trigger it from Cloud LM or we have to trigger it from Tricentis only?
You mean to say the
Automation testing. So do we have the complete interconnection
yeah,
between the Cloud
it's
LM?
yeah, it's completely interlinked. Like even at least for Tricentis, because I don't think there's any other provider which is like, certified by SAP for Cloud
Right.
LM automation testing. So Tricentis is completely integrated. You don't have to do anything. It's like you could say that it is part of Cloud LM. You have a it's a tile within Cloud LM homepage itself. So you don't have to do
No,
anything. It's just
but my question is like I have the 10 set of test cases as a part of
Hmm.
my test plan one. Okay. For the automation testing, it is not for the manual. So from where I have to trigger? From I have to go to the
uh,
Tricentis and trigger it.
you
I
have
can trigger it from here itself. Like I just want to understand this detail.
you have to trigger it from the Tricentis side. Yeah.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
Okay. And how the result will come into the ILM? It will be automatic, or it will like we
It
have
will
to do
automate.
some.
It's like once you have integrated, like Tricentis also has their own automate test. So you can once you have you can import the test cases from your third party provider, right? It will be in
Okay.
Cloud ALM. Okay, now once you execute the test cases, the test results will automatically show up in Cloud ALM. You don't have to do anything. Only if you want to see the execution logs or anything, more details, then you have to go to the Tricentis, and there you can see, because it's like, because SAP says that, okay, I again have to move all that data, that execution logs and everything into cloud. So why to do that? You can go to Tricentis, and there only you can see the execution logs if you want to see,
Logs.
if there's
But the test results I can see in the.
yeah, yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That complete control is there from Cloud LM only,
So
because
it is in the it is in the which format? It is in the PDF or Word? Like which is the format here? Or it is
uh,
coming directly from there, whatever format the Transcendence is giving, it is coming here. It is something like
uh,
that, right?
something like that. Like if the Fiori page, it will come, okay, test is successful or not. Yeah, it doesn't come in as a PDF or Word format. The results come on the the test execution page, that okay, your testing is completed, what is the status. In that way it comes. Once I show the demo, it will become more clear, but it doesn't come in any PDF or Word as such, like no attachments, right? It more of a gives you the overview of the status of your automated test execution which has happened. So it gives
Okay.
you that overview on the Cloud LM page, because SAP Cloud LM doesn't have the capability, nor it's saying that I do that. It's saying that you need a third party Tricentis tool to run your automation testing, because I don't, because SAP Cloud LM doesn't support it. It is more of a, it just gets those like you have the test cases in for visibility or for traceability, because everything, all of your things is in Cloud LM. So what it does that, you go to your tool, you have your automating test cases, you can import those test cases in Cloud LM. So it will it will give you the the complete list of test cases. You can create test plans also, right? And once you run your text execution, you run it from the Tricentis, the results will show up in Cloud LM, because so it's more of a like a dashboard, you can say, for automation testing, right? So you
Okay.
don't, yeah, fine. So when we'll do the demo, it will become more clear. Okay, if you encounter application, any issues during testing, you can always create tests. It could be defects, could be for your, for manual, automated, both, or for individual test action, or for the whole test case, depending, right? So as I said, like Cloud LM doesn't have any ITSM capability. Like even for the ticketing or ITSM process, it relies on the third party. It gives you, again, like as mentioned, for ServiceNow integration, which is inbuilt ServiceNow integration, so that you can have your ITSM. Like Cloud LM is not in roadmap. It is not in the roadmap. They have clearly said we won't have an ITSM capability or functionality within Cloud LM, obviously, but there would be a requirement. So they have like given external APIs there. ServiceNow has a for that they have given inbuilt integration. But for testing, for defect, they have defects management, they have kept it, like, because during testing, defect management is important, right? Because there will be, during testing, there will be defects. And so for only for the testing cycle, they have kept defect management, which is part of Cloud LM. You don't have to go anywhere else to do that, but you can you have it in within Cloud LM only, like the defect management for during test cycles, you will have defect. So that capability they have given, but it is only restricted, or the defects, defects have only life cycle for the testing cycle. So it is for the testing cycle, not for any other purpose. Like it's not, again, Cloud LM doesn't have a full-fledged ITSM. So the defect management is also probably not, is not as robust or as capable like any other ITSM tool like ServiceNow or anything. But it whatever it gives you the enough capability and to manage your defects during a project within, when the testing cycle is going on. So it gives you that much capability to manage your defects, the defect management in place for your projects, without compromising any of the integrity or any of the deliverables across your project, right? So again, during test execution, you can see all the details of your test execution for each test cases. You can see the history, because it could be that your test case has been run multiple times as part of either defect correction retest, or the same test case being part of different test plans at different phases of different test cycles. So that execution history you can see for any test case or any test run, right? This is what. So again, it could be like you can have, how many defects were generated for a particular test case or test plan. You can download them for analytics. Also, you can have analytics, kind of analytics within for test suite for test management, where you can see, okay, for how many test cases are there, what is their status, test plans, what is this test execution, how many defects are created, what is the status of those defects, right? So test management also, you have a kind of an analytics inbuilt which you can leverage to see the current status, right? You are in a test as a test, maybe as a test manager or a work stream lead, or even as an individual contributor for your team. You want to see, okay, what is the status of my test, like my development, right? It's now in testing, whether it has come for, a defect has been created and I have to work. So that all things you can check from the analytics section, that what is the and overall status of the test, right? Where we stand with respect to how many test cases.
आपको लेट सुना है ये?
पता नहीं कब सोया था.
Hello, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So fine, okay. So this we'll as we go into the demo, it will get more clear. So this is again if you have to report anything. So this again the different options of features, functions, which test execution gives you, right? You can test case, fill list out effector, execute test case. You can resume test execution, right? It could be that you did not finish it at one go, right? Or it's a big test case, so you are going to finish in multiple sessions, right? Or or when it could be that you started and the test case involves moving from one system to another system, right? And you see that you don't have access, or the test ID doesn't have access. So then you pause that execution, you then work with the security or the whichever access team, and they give you the access, and then you resume your testing. So that you can resume your testing from that, right? So that option is there. Okay, again, all the test cases, obviously the test steps you have to, like, whether it's passed or failed, and if it is passed, well and good. If it is failed, whether it requires a defect, or you want to create a defect for each step, or you want to create a defect for the complete, once you complete the test case and you want to create a defect for the whole test case. It could be it has failed at multiple steps, or you want to create, or depending on your project, like, okay, if it has failed at maybe there are 10 steps and it has failed at the fourth step, you stop there, you create a defect, and you wait for the redevelopment, and once it's done, you again retest it. Or in some cases you do that, like, if you can move forward with that, so you will test other thing, and you say, okay, out of the test 10 steps, 2 or 3 are failing, so then you create a single defect for that test case, highlighting all these issues, right? It again depends on the test case whether that is possible or not, because in some tests, most test cases, probably if you're failing in the third or fourth step, you are not going, means you will not be able to move to the next step, or you will not be able to test the next step. So then you stop there, you create your defect, and then wait for the development to happen. Or you can or in some cases, probably in some cases the test case or test step itself is not written properly, right? The steps, so that maybe you can check with the functional person or the technical team, that, okay, is this the correct? Because we are, in some cases it's not about not the code being wrong, but the test case or the test step not wrong, but not correct in the way, because it is written, probably it is going to error out even with the code is correct, everything, but we are testing it wrongly, right? It could be in that sense, right? So in that way, then that also you have to check before creating a defect, right? Then it saves time, right? So when you can create and assign defects, right? As I said, you have to, again, once your test run has finished, you have to complete it. Otherwise, the status will not show up correctly. Like, even if you finish, you have to, like, finish the test execution, so that you can mark, or it shows up in your overview with this particular test case has finished, completed its testing. Whether it could be successful or failed, but it has completed one run, right? That is there. Okay. So again, defects is like you can create defects. Like, obviously you can create it from the test execution, or you can create it here from the Defect app as you wish. You can create Defect. Again, you obviously when you're creating defects, you are going to assign it to someone, right? To some team or some team member, right? To what maybe you assign it to a team member. If it's a technical issue, probably, or an access issue, probably you assign it to basis or security. Or if you see it's some configuration issue, you assign it to the functional team. Or if you know the person, okay, that who is going to fix it, or or you have, so you can assign directly to that person as well, right? So it depends. How do you assign it? So you either team, or you can assign it to a particular person. Obviously, you when you are creating different, you have to assign it to a test case. Like when you're creating it from the Defect app, you have to, so that there's a relation, right? Otherwise it will be lost, right? The defect is for which test case, it will be lost in the once, because you know where the defect is, and you pass it on to the, again, back to the developer, but they might not know. I mean, they might be working on 10 different development pieces, so they might not know. So you have to assign it, attach it to a test case, right? Only then that defect has relevance, right? Otherwise there is no relevance. Again, you can track and maintain the defect status during a correction. Again, the defect status also has to be, like as I said, you have to move manually. Once you have assigned it to the developer, he or she will work, and then once it is ready for testing, again they have to change the defect status. So in that way, the defect app works. We'll see all of this in the demo. Okay. Again, similar in defects app, you have these many features. We'll go through in the demo. Any question, anything before we go to the demo? You are able to see, open the Cloud ALM page.
Yes, Ritu.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Fine. So we'll go to. I'll just show you, like if you once you go to the overview page, and
Ratan,
yeah.
Nitish here. So the last session we were there in the document and tail kind of discussion, right?
Right.
Might be had some query or something like that.
Yeah.
Step to be concluded. Will that will be taken care after this one, or how you are?
For documents, probably I think we covered whatever. Like, do you have any queries? Sorry, I forgot to means it was more or less concluded, the document part. There was nothing much to discuss, at least on the document. So you have any queries or anything? We can.
I don't have any query, so probably the other team member might be having that one. So essentially, what we think that on a previous session, we recall it for when we started the session, right? So that's what I was just waiting for that. So
Okay. Yeah. If anyone has any query for doubts within document, so I'll just quickly. So again, see, the main crux is like this relation, but like you can relate it to your solution process, and within maybe 2-3 months, by the time you are fully into your project, you will have the option to have this relation, have it in your for user stories requirements also, right? So then probably it will have more sense, right? Because if you remember one sec. So like when you are in actually your live project, so you will have all these the process which are part of your scoping, right? As part of your project scoping and as a solution process. So obviously you can, like, for each of the processes or each of these which are part of the scope, you will have your documentation, right? And you have obviously, as with the current set, you don't actually have, you can upload the document here, but yeah, you can create a record here, which a record here that okay, the documentation is there, it's available, it's just that it's there at the SharePoint. Anyone who wants to go, it can review and go it. But yeah, you create a record here, and which is traceable, right? Like if you create if let's suppose you have it in SharePoint, so why probably you use an Excel, in a mail somewhere, you keep it, okay, for this for these finance processes, there are 7 or 8 business processes, we have the document, it is here in this location, please refer to that SharePoint, or like, so that also works. But if you use this, and even SAP, obviously thought process that they eventually to give a full-fledged documentation capability, which is still, which they are going to give, they have that in plan, that you can upload your documents directly. In what way or the other, that I don't know, but they have that in the roadmap, that they will allow, they like that capability, that okay, you can directly upload your documents here, not rather than creating a reference, right? What do we do, right? So but here, like as I said, like if I'm creating a document, so I would I have to define what document it is, right? It's a functional specification. So in that way, you are creating a record which is there for everyone to see and everyone to for review, right? So there is no discrepancy. Okay, where is the documentation, where it is not, right? So it is there in all means. Obviously, these are you probably have to figure out of these options which one suits you, because there could be that there is a document which doesn't type of document doesn't suit any of these, but then you have to somewhere play around with it. Or probably you never know, maybe they give the option to create your own document type as well, right? Create your own document, like you have, like you can create your own roles, you can create your own teams, your work stream. So it could be they could give it later, but that I have not read it anyway whether it is in plan or not. So it could be, and maybe they gave it. But yeah, but in that way, for each of your processes, actually, like if we talk for now, for each of your processes, because obviously process is the one from where everything is coming. Like you have 100 10 20, depending on your each work streams, you will have some set of processes part of your scoping. So for all those processes, you can have your documents record created here, and that gives you an advantage where if you want to show the completeness of your documentation, or even the project wants to see, or even the customer wants to see, right? Okay, where is the document? So you can they refer to them, and they can, from the reference, they can go to that particular SharePoint only. But you have a record here, right? That okay, these documents I have created for this particular process, and you can you have created a relation. So yeah, for that particular project, sorry, for that particular process, you have these many documents. And again, the documents have us they have status also, right? So in review, in progress, release, right? In review, and like FSD CSV also will go for review, right? So you can use this here, this app also, but again, it has to be decided at the project level, that you agree that we will use this path, this way of working, where we use the document app, where we create a record and then we change the status to in review, send it to the customer or share it with the customer, and then they can review it, right? And then obviously they'll give the comments in the document, and from that documentation, then again you can make changes, and again once it is finalized, you can just set it to release, and then it means okay, the document is finalized. There's no other change required, or the document is finalized, has been reviewed from the customer side, from the SI partner, everything is done. So in that way you can do it. Okay. So and obviously, like for you, obviously, yeah, for each document you have to create a separate record or any reference document line item here, like for a particular process. Okay. So like I have one project in release, right? So let's suppose if I want to see the how many how many, like now obviously now we have only 4 documents, but over a course of, if you are in an actual live project and people are working using it, so there will be 100 multiple thousand documents. So you can see how many project documentation are there, how many business process document is there. You can search it by the scopes, right? Within which scope how many are there, right? So that you can see, right? And owner, right? So since I am creating, I am the owner. So there are what is these all things you can say, or from solution process, right? So I've created it for one only, but there will be, like in a given scenario, there will be at least 100 200 work stream, right? So okay, so this you can this you can means gives you a good to have feature, not, or a nice to have feature, probably not even a good, nice to have feature, or an average you can use. Depends again on your how do you want to use this or leverage this in a project. Okay, any question
from my side? I was trying this to upload the document that Excel you showed, no?
Yeah.
Right. So I was trying that, but I created 2 or 3 entries, but after uploading I could only see one entry coming here. So if you can show us like how is it working? Maybe I did something wrong, that is why it is not showing.
Maybe you or show
maybe
me
after the session also you can show. No, not necessary we have to show it right after the session. Okay. Also you can show.
So you're saying you created 2 entries but only one got created?
Correct, yeah.
And did it give you some pop-up message? Because it will give you that
pop-up message showed that you have 2 entries, but while after the upload I got only 1. That is okay. That was a bit strange.
Okay, like the problem for me, there is some error. I think I got the, let me do one thing. Reference value, references, 1/6.
And also the type of document that I'm uploading, like it could be a project document or FS document. So those types were not reflecting actually. This
Okay.
also was my observation. Maybe you can show it at the end of the session. We can continue with what you are showing, the test cases and everything, test preparation. We can go with the session and have a look at this at the end of the session.
Yeah, okay. We'll do that. Fine. So any before I go to test, any other query or anything with respect to documents? Okay. So notes, like I think I've shown you notes. So notes probably you will say it in the same way it could be. So what, and you have it like relations also you have it, and reference you have it. So notes probably is actually planned to get merged with document, because if you see in one way or the other, notes and documents probably are, at least notes is not giving you any additional feature which document is already giving you. So this note in coming months will merge with documents, and the note itself, the app would not be there in Cloud ALM. So because you might get with the note also, you can have a reference, you can create relations, so we can use the same thing, right? But yeah, but you don't have, you can't select the types. It's more of a, you write something on it, right? You write something and then it's more of a note, right? And documents is more of a documentation purpose. So since note, they are going to merge with documents, etc. Right? So this is one thing. So we won't go into notes any further. Okay. So what I was trying to show you is like, okay. So now, before we go, so it's like, you have these many things like project and assign task, yeah, and how you have to. So you can manage your car. Like let's suppose you are in your testing, or you want to have the details only about test cases. So probably defects and just have this. So you can have a just like an overview of from a test perspective, right? Right. So this you can do, like once you are there, you don't want to see, you can manage your cards and you can have within your test, within your for your overview of the project, you can have just this. You can just come and see this, and then this is fine, right? And you can obviously save this view, right? Save as here. So you don't have to every day come and see many things. You just have to see what is there, like at least from testing perspective. Okay. So okay, fine. This is fine. Okay. We'll go to test preparation. Okay. So see, right now I don't have any test cases within my project, right? Okay, nothing. So I'll create a test case. It's obviously a manual test case. I can have automated, but for that I need the input, which is not there. Okay, so I will, scope. Okay, so this will be part of finance. Solution process, as I say, you can, relate it and have this relation. So I'll accounts payable, okay, and solution process flow diagram. Okay, so if you remember, for the some of the, there were multiple iterations or different combinations of the process flow diagram. So if you remember, obviously you would have gone with or decided with some, so you can choose that, because on that process flow diagram only your test will happen, right? Because we have chosen account receivable but J15, but it will have different iterations of it. So whichever you want, maybe I'll choose the first one only. Okay, and I'll just save it. Okay, so this is the structure. So maybe I'll put this in a scope. I'll put this also in scope. Put this in scope. Okay, I'll save it. Okay, so now you see the test case, the test types have come because I chose from the scope solution, the scope, the process, because that was the standard one which came with the roadmap. So the test cases also come. So then I chose the process flow, right? So it has now the steps have come, right? 1, 2, 3, right? Now again, it could be that a moment. Okay, it could be that you want to. This is fine, but then you want to create, within that you want to create your own steps or further steps, right? So I add or before, or you just add it, right? So if I add it like test, this, testing, demo, expected result. You obviously you will write something sensible. I'm just writing to show. Okay. So now one is okay, is like you'll create. Okay. This. Okay. So I'll create it. Okay. So I've created 1.2. Okay. Now if I let's suppose I have to create 1.1.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
So let's suppose again test step 1.2 instruction testing expected result. Okay, now now like it will. So once I do so 1.2 got carried. Now it's coming to 1.3 directly. You don't have to again and then because they will have, depending on whatever test cases or test within your test case, whatever test steps you want. So you could create like this, right? So now I have maybe 1.1. I'll edit test 1.1. You test instruction, like you have to give something, right? Expected result, you can leave it.
Ratan, say now you are taking example of period activities, right? So this period activities and the steps. So you selected one particular test case to capture the result with the step by step, correct? So now, if you click on that first step, can you please click on the first step?
This one.
Yeah, step 1.
Yeah.
So now, say for example, instead of title going for test step 101, the period activities. The periodic activities, what actually that the solution item which we have selected, the instruction means. So we'll have an instruction. What is the instruction? So that what are the input is required for this to do the testing, what test we are doing. Okay, so what are the input we are just trying to capture it. So those are the information which comes in the instruction. Okay, if you're taking as a practical example. If you're going for test demo and all, see, we will not understand. Okay. See, the instruction means what? What is the instruction you are giving for this particular test? That should be explained here. Say, for example, there will be a different kind of points, and if you can see that an attachment also, there will be a scissor, right? So where you can capture and everything you can do. So those are the options we can explore here, what we are trying to do. And so what is the expected result here? So what is the expected result after doing the periodic activities? What is the outcome in our SAP of the test result? So those things it will be capturing here, okay, in the first step. So it means that each and every step, what the instruction we are giving, what is the output, like execute, what are the input. So those are that way we wanted to understand. You're getting my point, Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, Yatish, you are audible. Ratan, we lost your screen also and we couldn't hear you.
Might be disconnected. You guys are with me, right? So when we are doing for test case and we wanted to understand that in the practical way. So we should not go by, that a demo kind of thing test to understand. Is that correct?
It was like I was creating the test case, like few steps to how do you create the test step, right? Or probably then obviously we'll go, like I'm not obviously I'll let you know how the instruction would, but I'm not a FI guy, so I don't know within periodic activities what actually instruction. Yeah, but obviously instruction would be anything which whenever the test cases are being prepared by the test team or with help from the functional team, they will obviously the instruction will be detailed.
So we can take that any of that. You familiar with the test case?
Yeah,
we are okay with that.
Yeah, I will come to that. Like I just wanted to complete, like how do you create within those different test steps, right? And then we'll come to that.
Please go ahead. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is okay. So like this. So like this, you can create your once you have created a test step, you can edit it also, right? If there is any change, right? And if I save it. Service. Okay, what happened? Yeah. Okay, so I have created a test case, right? Like I will go to that. Like now, if you want to, link it to a requirement, right? So we can assign. Okay, so these are the requirements which is part of our project, right? So we'll take J58. Okay, do that. Okay, we'll save it. You can, have like assign user stories also to test cases. Okay, so maybe users. This one we'll take. Okay, so you have. Okay. So okay, save it. Structure is there. You have the content here. So you see this status is in preparation phase, right? So since when you are creating once the test case, because obviously you're going to work on test case, right? It will take some time. You will have understand the requirement with the functional team and the development team, the testing team, whoever is creating the test cases, right? So you keep that in preparation. Once and everything is finalized, then you will change the status to prepared. Like, okay, now this test case is prepared, right? Okay, so we'll keep it in preparation only for now. Okay, and so requirements and user stories given, right? Like again, as I said, like for traceability, obviously it's not compulsory that you have to assign it or there has to be a relation with the requirement, but obviously it would make sense that if there is a test case or test case which is coming into the system, obviously you're going to, it is for testing some functionality which came through a requirement, right? So to have that visibility, okay, for that particular with what is the status of the test, or we have a test case for that matter or not for that particular requirement. Similarly, for user story, if user story has been worked upon, some development work has been, so obviously there will be testing for that. A test case would be assigned. So it would make more sense. Again, it is not compulsory, but it would make sense and it would help in the traceability analytics, to visibility at that. Okay, for this user story, how many test cases, how many what is the status of this test case, right? For my user story or for different user stories within the work stream or for a requirement, right? Where, okay, the test case is still in preparation, right? Or the test case has been prepared, now it is waiting for execution, right? So if you have that relation, it is better. Means it is obviously recommended to have that requirements and user story, requirement and user story relation here. Obviously, it would be ideally it should be 1:1, right? It could be that the requirement or the user story would have, this test case will fulfill the testing for a particular requirement or a particular user story. But in some cases, you could be that the kind same the requirement is similar, or same test case can fulfill the testing requirement for both the requirements. So then maybe you can add them, but it is always better to have 1:1 relation, right? So that it doesn't make confusing. And ideally, it should be like that because you have a requirement, so you will have a unique testing or test case for that, right? If there's another requirement, there would be some change or the other. So then you should use a different test case for that test case test plan. Similarly with user story, because if you see, you can assign a multiple user stories, but again, if you within a user story, you are going to do a unique or a development piece of work, and that would have a unique test case or testing requirement, right? So that again, it should be a 1:1 relation, right? But again, it is not mandated that you have 1:1. You can have many to one to many. So it again depends, right? So it just Cloud ALM gives you that option. So in case you have that scenario, so you can have multiple user stories assigned to the same test case and requirements. Again, assignment doesn't affect the test cycle or test case in any way. It's just a relation, right? It doesn't affect any way the test execution or the test plan or the test selection. Nothing. It doesn't affect anything. It's just more of from a document, from a traceability perspective, of to view or to see from where it is coming, right? So that helps in that way, but it doesn't. You have it, you don't have it, you have multiple. It doesn't affect in what way the testing is going to happen, right? The testing, it gets affected by the structure and steps you create, right? If you have make changes and then it affects the test execution or the context in which the testing is supposed to be done. But apart from that, these requirements usually don't affect in any way or the other the in what way the execution is going to happen, or in what way that test case is going to play out, or if there is any change, or we have to hold nothing like that, right? It doesn't work like that. It just more from a traceability perspective. You would like to have your requirements and user stories connected to the respective test packages, test plans, or test cases. Okay, fine. Okay, so we have created one test case. Let me create another manual.
Can we copy this first test case? Do we have any feature like that?
Yeah, you can copy. You can copy.
Can you just show that first?
Yeah, okay. Just let me create this. I'll show you. You can copy also, and you can like download and upload also. I'll show that. Just get 13 March. Test scope. I'll choose test scope. I won't choose anything. And this is good. Yeah. So you have this option, right? You can if you copy. So it work. You can just save it, just rename it, copy it, test case, save it. So you have this another which we created by copying. Okay, this one. Okay, so it's same thing. I just like it doesn't copy the content, so you create and then I can again copy it from here. Download is like you'll download this as a template and then you can maybe we'll try that. Get test case GUID. Okay. So like this, you can see whatever. Like if you want to download and see, upload will not work here. I'll show you that later.
Download, we cannot see anything is get downloaded. Only in the LM screen we can see. Like if you are showing something else, it is only LM screen we can see.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I think. Yeah. 1 sec. Stop sharing. Share again. Yeah. So now you can see the Excel, right? So this gets downloaded. So you can download and have a view, but it's more of a
Can you click on that link test case name? What is that?
It will again open it here. It's giving you a link. It will take you to the
No, test steps are not getting downloaded. You mean only the test case name is getting downloaded. Detail the test steps you have created, right?
Yeah. No, I did not create any. I think I created only one. Okay, wait. Let me.
No, can you go back to that screen? Okay, here, see, in this, hold on, just be there in that first one only. You can see there are the test steps you have created. This one, 1.10, and what is this? This is the steps, right?
These are like blanks. There is nothing. Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
These are the steps only, the part of this test case. For the test case one, these are the steps. So when you are importing this, where are the steps in the Excel file?
Here, this. Because actually currently there are no steps within like periodic activity or enter invoice. So it is showing, but it will download like the steps also it will download. Should download.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think in the same format you have to upload.
No, not probably. I'll check because I think the GUIDs will change and that will get that's get created automatically. So the upload I'll check.
If you can remove this GUID and just change this number to 4, and can you try to upload this? Just remove this.
I think for the test activity, there is a column I could find where I think the test steps that I created, I think it's showing there. Can you please check same for you?
No, the one I downloaded did not have any.
Yeah, this one, test demo.
Yeah.
But this is only one step.
No, because the.
Can you download the one that you showed in the first time? That one.
This one.
Because this is Ratan, this is very important for us because we'll be uploading and downloading only. So this should be very much clearer for us, like how we are downloading and uploading the test cases.
Yes. Where did I create it? Let me add one step. One second, I'll create something here also. Now let me download it in the moment. Just use it. So
the one that I was looking at was column QRNS.
Yeah, you see these steps here. Now when I come here, you will see these steps. Okay. Here.
Okay.
Yeah, it probably is not in the very expected format, but yeah, these steps would be there, like whatever would you would. But yeah, it's in an Excel, so it uses the tree structure. So
should be created manually. This all the step, or can we upload that Excel updating like this?
You can upload it through an Excel also.
What will be the format?
Yeah, I'll go through that. Yeah, I have to prepare that form because I did not prepare. So if I prepare now, it will take some time. So I'll show it. I'll show you how to prepare, but if I prepare now, it will take time. But I'll show manual, and then because we have allocated enough time for test because this is very important. So we'll go each and every topic in detail, and wherever you have doubt, wherever you want me to repeat, and whatever you like. You said I created. You were not able to see, so we went through downloaded. So we'll go through that. Okay, just so you have these steps here, right? So yeah, because I know when you are within testing and test plans, you will probably do a lot of downloads and do a lot of uploads, right? So that functionality is there in Cloud ALM. It's there, right? Okay. Clear till now? We'll cover that upload and how to like create it multiple from an Excel upload also. Okay.
Okay.
But now till now it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Can you go back to that screen once again?
Yeah. Yes, please.
What is the structure?
Structure is the activity like when we selected the scope. So that scope had this like the business process that had. So these are the which you want again. Like it's like again like with it comes standard.
This is
with
a
SAP.
part of the one test case. Like, can you go back? Do we have the hierarchy of the different streams in the test cases? Like, can you go back from this into the test preparation for the first run?
Okay.
In the home. Now
Okay.
come back again to the test preparation.
Okay.
It is directly the test cases. See, if I want to just to see the finance test cases, so how it will like is there any kind of tree structure or something like that, or
like you can filter it out with your scope, right? We have finance scope, so you will filter out whatever.
okay, filters, only the filters are there, right? We have to use the filters instead of hierarchy. Okay.
Yeah. Instead, yeah. Or if probably when down the line when we do the test plan, and probably your test plan would maybe it could be that you have a test plan for finance module, so all the test cases which are related there, you will make that as part of those test cases as part of the test plan. So then maybe you can filter it out with the test plan, and there within test plan also you can which test case has to go first, second, that hierarchy you can choose. And even within the test case, obviously you can also change the hierarchy, the structure, right? Obviously you can. It's like we are using the SAP standard, so SAP has given a structure in the sense the way of how it is going to work. But obviously you can change the maybe you don't want to keep it as activity 1 and you can make it as activity 2, 3, right? The standard one. But this is the standard one. But you can always create it. I'll show you. You can always create your own test case, right? From the starting without
And
any
as
of
you
the.
said, I think the sample test cases are also there in it,
Sorry.
right? You said, I think earlier while showing the PPT, sample test cases are also available in the Cloud ALM.
Okay, the best practice test case. Yeah.
Best practice. Where it is?
That also I'll show. I'll have to manually upload it. That I'll show. We'll go one by one. If we jump here and there,
cancel मत कर दियो पीछे screen on महाराज
you don't
leave कर दे mute.
So yeah, please go on mute. So we'll go one by one, step one. That we'll show. Because if we jump, then others also will. If we follow the process, then it would be easy. Just give it some time. Obviously, I'm there to answer any your question, any your query. Just we'll go follow the flow, and then whatever queries you have, we'll take it up. Okay. Fine. We'll created one. Okay. Yeah. So now I had created one. Like I did not choose any. So now I'll create the structure. Okay. So probably the login SAP. This is the activity one. Application would be SAP URL. So this is one. Okay. So login as okay. Maybe I'll create another check tabs. This would be same. It would be SAP. Okay. URL would be same. Okay. Check tabs again. Navigate working in SAP. So I'm just showing you like a test case if you want to show you do it just for Cloud ALM, right? Another would be working, and therefore again SAP like in which application you can define. Maybe in your there's a use case where it could be that different. It is within across different applications. Like you are going from S/4HANA to the CPI, and then I'm just giving examples. So you can again these are optional. You don't have to URL. You have to give. Okay. So this is done. I'll save it. Okay. So this is my stick. Sorry, it went. I saved it, right? What happened? Okay, the refresh worked. So this I have created a structure. Now I have to create the content. So login. So again, you can Step 1, use the URL to log in. Yeah. Okay. Step 2 would be use credentials, check the access. Okay. So like this, you can I'm just giving an example, whatever steps, right? And the option, these are you can have bold, italic, underscore, strikeout. If you want numbering or this, right? If you insert a link, right? So I can insert a link URL. Display text would be SAP link. Okay, title SAP. Okay, target is I'll keep it as none. Okay, so this I could have made it the first step, right? So you can delete, remove it, right? Insert a table if you want to put in a table with this. Check maybe check this combination of anything. It could be maybe I want to check this combination whether these maybe 3 different users, what all access they have. For one, I have only given access maybe to the SAP implementation area, right? Or one only the operation. So maybe I can put in a table that okay, check that for whoever is the tester, or it is more helpful to them, right? So like that you can insert table, copy, paste, right? Only these there, right? Expected result again would be successful login, should login, and landing page of cloud loads, something like that. Okay. So like that you will create it's like this one. There's no, obviously you will have some format, you won't like to follow a format for which, and the testing team would be more experienced with this, how to create the instructions, how to create the test cases. So but yeah, you can use it in anyone. Obviously it's a free field, you can use it in anyone you want, right? Or obviously you can give it a link to a test, again to a external URL or SharePoint, something you can do that also, right? That maybe from there you see the instruction, anything you can do, right? Because you are accessing, giving a link here, right? So I'll just okay. So you see I'm able to open it. Okay. So like this you can do it, right? So similarly you can add it for check tabs are visible, implementation visible, maybe second will be operations tab is, so your navigate to operations tab, right? And result would be able to access implementation operations tab. Click on OK. So you have created the instruction, navigate to implementation and navigate to operations tab. Then expected is able to access implementation operations tab. Yeah. So like this you can create your manual test case also, right? Again, if you want, we can save it once. I can assign it to requirement, right? Test demo 1, assign it. Okay. You have to save every time on the tab. Doesn't let you navigate to any other tab without saving. Okay, so user story, then again assign demo 2 and assign.
Small question from my side.
Yeah.
Is it possible to make delete any test step? We might have got a requirement where we have to perform certain steps. Okay. And maybe later on the client decided, no, we will add some steps or we'll delete some steps. So is it possible to delete these steps, like the login one you created right now? Maybe some we have to do it in a different way. So the client wants that this login step should not be there. Okay. So is it possible to delete?
Means delete in the sense you can rename it, right? Means obviously something else would be there, right? So you can rename it, you want something else, right? Or you want to change the structure itself.
Yeah, maybe these steps the client doesn't want. Okay.
So means you can, what you can do is if you can just remove it from the scope, so it won't show up in your. Okay, sorry, save it, and you want the this that won't show up in your content or in the the test steps like this.
Okay. So we have to remove it from the structure itself, right? Structure,
yeah. Okay. Structure is nothing but the the activity list, or in what way you are going to do, and content is within those activities, login. So what will be the activity within that? But I took a very basic example, but if you take any your your module related and purchase order creation, or that you log in into ME3 and you check whatever. I'm not very familiar with any of these, but I'm just taking example, or purchase order creation, or any any financial related invoice generation, right? So what you are going to test, whether when you input are you able to create a purchase order or not? For that you probably will give some inputs, like go to this T code, input, you have to give some company code or whatever, right? You give that company code, then click on execute or something, that you instruction you will give, right? So those details will come within the content, or the, which you can say, the test steps, right? And here obviously you can like remove it out of scope. This anyways we created, right? And you can remove it, you can edit it. Okay, so you can obviously delete it also, but it's fine. Maybe you want to delete, you can delete it also.
Yeah, I think just go to the content once. Yeah, I think maybe for example, the tabs in the check tabs, we have created one step, tabs and visible. Okay, tabs are visible. This one you have created. So if you select this step and there is a delete option, I can see there. So is it possible to remove it from there? If you cross it, at the end of this, there's a cross sign, right?
Yeah. So you can delete it.
Okay, so this is deleted. So this is actually what I wanted to know.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Got it. Yeah, thanks, Ratan.
Delete and undo option is also there. Like if it is deleted like mistakenly, then undo option I could see.
Okay, fine.
So yeah, there like here also you can delete. Here also like if it's your purpose is getting, it depends on you whether you want to completely delete it or not. Just if the activity you want to you don't want it, so maybe you can remove it out of the scope, or if you want, you can delete it also, right? So if I save it, this also will go. Okay, so this it depends on you, right? Means SAP again, yes, mistakenly, or maybe again you probably it will again come in the scope later, something, right? Or it could be that you can have the same test case and you can use it for multiple places where you can just change the scoping, right? That there are 7-8 activities, probably you can reuse it in some other way if you just change the scoping, right? So maybe when you are running it for the next time, you just just move it out of the scope, and this maybe probably serves your purpose for a test case where you don't have to create again another test case, right? You can use it the same test case. So because of this only this,
maybe we can use it for the copy option where if there are 5 steps, we are copying those 5 steps and using maybe 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, that also, because it gives you copy option. So that also
so if suppose we have, can we create test suite, I mean template kind of stuff where we can create multiple test cases? For example, I might need to test the same scenario for different countries. Okay, then how do we do it? Do I use a copy option, or can I create a template and then under the template can I create a test cases or test suite?
No, not a template. Copy option obviously you can use, not the there's no template option as such, but when we do that, the upload, maybe probably in that through that you can create multiple test cases.
Okay.
With you just change the one thing which as like country wise, you like as a for audit purpose or whatever purpose, even if it's the same test case, you need to have different test cases for different countries, even if everything is same, or probably the country code is changing. So template as such in a true sense is not there, but you can always use the upload option and maybe create the test cases with the same settings, everything same. Just just with your whatever changes needed for
okay.
Country-wise requirement.
Okay.
So that you can do. So again, it that's why it gives you that.
No, just to add on, just on this, I have one more question. Like country-wise, if we want to select, so can we do some customization here, like to select the country, like for if it is for US, it is different. India, it is different. So how can we do?
No, that option is not there. Means in the sense that
customization is there or not? If we want some kind of customization.
In true sense, there is no customization possible.
Okay, who has asked this question, like copying of the? Did you understand how to do that? So Kanta, I think you have asked Praveen.
Yeah, Hina. Yeah, tell me.
So did you understood like how is it can be done?
The copy part I understood, copying the test cases and maybe taking some of the test steps from the test case. Yeah, that part I understood.
Yes, that is what the copying I understood. But if the country wise, did you get it? How can we do this?
No, country wise, no. I didn't.
I think we have to do it
country wise. It is not there. Country wise, it is not there, right? That's
It's
what I
not there.
understood. It is not
Yes,
there.
yes. It's not there.
Right. So I think we can do in the test plan, right? Like it can be the part of the test plan, this test cases, the country
Ah,
wise if you want it, right?
no, what do you want in country wise means do you need
The we need to like do the testing of the same test cases for the different countries. So it can be the part of different test plans, right?
yeah, same test case can be part of different test plans, and you can have test plans, yeah, depending like country wise also you can have test plans.
And
And yeah. But yeah, that I mean, country entity anywhere you can put in that is not there. That customization is not there. But yeah, you can maybe you can rename the test case with country wise, or as you said rightly, that you can create test plans for different countries, and then obviously the same test case or some variations of the same test, some the same test case would be using. So you can create, with copy you can create multiple test cases, and then as part of the test plans for each country you can assign those test cases to your test plan, country wise specific. But yeah, it is more at your level. Like Cloud ALM probably would not help you in that sense. You probably have to do it like create a test plan for country specific or whatever, model specific, country specific, sprint specific, whatever. And then depending again your requirement, whether you can go with the same test case, that test case we can use in the same test case or same different countries, or there if there is a need of a variation in the maybe in one step the country code needs to be changed. So then you can, like, as a copy option, right, you can copy it multiple times and create one each with the same variant, just one of these steps is changing for different countries. And then that test cases you'll make it as part of your test plans, which are country specific you have already created. Okay, so that you can do.